You always get relief that you've won a game because of the set of results, but there's still, you've got to be honest and say there's circumstances. But delighted with the way the boys responded, because especially the way the game went when we lost the goal, because that's a big test. And I said that to you after the game. You can fold, but they showed a mental strength. And then, as you see the game unfolding, once you score a couple, all the confidence comes flooding back. I thought there was some great football. I thought there was some great individual displays. The movement was excellent when I've watched the game back. So delighted with the performance, but that's all it is. It's just a start, and we have to try and continue. But it's tough because we still have players missing. But it shows you what the boys are capable of when they put their minds to it.
The players that come back, you could see the impact they made. Like your Danny Devines, your Sean Welsh.
The experience always helps, and it's in the middle of your team, the spine. I also mentioned that to you. Of course, that helps, but you've got to make sure that everybody else joins in with that. You can say, you've got a brilliant spine, but nobody else performs. So I was delighted. I really, when I watched it back, at the time, you're looking at the game, you don't realise that how well you're playing at times. But once we got our goals, we had a shaky wee period. We lost the goal. They could have scored another one. And the mental strength, as I said, to come back for that and then play the football we did. Didn't surprise me, but it was brilliant the way that it all came to the fore once we realised and got the goals, because against Thistle, we went the other way. Against Cove, we could have gone that way. We didn't. We reacted, and that was a really good sign for me. And then when I looked back, that's where I was getting to you with the type of football we played. Once that confidence comes back, I know we're capable of that.
What's it done for morale? You had 4 days now to digest this. What's it done for squad morale?
You can see, you're not going to kid you on, Charlie, when you're not winning. You can see it's a quieter place. All the boys are. You can see they're thinking about it, worried about it, and that includes your staff and your players. But you've got to, I said the words, trust the process. You've always got to do that, and it's worked so far. Even when we have our hard runs, we kept the same process, because I know it works. I've been in football for a long time, and that's what we've done, and we stuck by it, and the players put on a performance. We've got to do it again, no? We've got to do it again. We can't just have one game and then we don't do the same things within the Arbroath game. We've got to carry that one into Arbroath, which we know is a tough place to go.
Which leads me to my next question. How hopeful are you that this can be a springboard for better things going forward?
Human nature, you're going to be hopeful, and I'm glad we're going to Arbroath in the back of a 6-1 win or a win, rather than maybe dropping another 2 points or a defeat, and then we're going to Arbroath looking for a win. So we're going to Arbroath in a much better place, so really happy.
And I hope that can be now sustained into the new year and onwards into the season.
I think if we're going to do anything in this championship this year, we have to sustain it in the upcoming weeks. We have to make sure we're picking up points in our next batch of games. We need to make sure that we're keeping on the coattails, or even clawing them back and looking to get into that top 4, and then you build from there. But that's again me talking into the future, getting too far ahead of myself. But it's the way it's got to be if we're going to do anything in this championship this season.
Given the club's limited financial resources, how hopeful are you that you're going to be able to add a bit to the squad during the window?
I'm hopeful, but it's got to be better than what we've got. I would say that we can't just bring players in who are filling numbers, filling the bench, or just filling the squad. We need to make sure, even if it's maybe only another one, that is better than what we've got, because that's going to help us with the question you've just asked me about doing something in this championship. So we really need to make sure that we're doing our due diligence and getting the right maybe one or ones in. But it's going to be tough. We're still looking to see if we can do anything and do something. Sorry.
Are the resources there to do it? Then have you been given an indication that there are resources to add one or two?
Yeah, I think it's no a definite, but we're going to have to make sure we get our heads together and maybe put a wee plan in place where we can make sure we we can maybe add to the squad, but I'll not be spending a lot of money. It might be another loan. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's in terms of wheeling and dealing. Let's just say that, Charlie.
That's grand, Billy. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
I was quite shocked that you got Jay Henderson. I didn't even know he hadn't been playing that much because he was so impressive in his breakthrough season last year. And he doesn't come with any story and any baggage from Callie's up and down roller coaster. So pleased to get him in and a great debut.
Yeah, he was excellent. I put it out to the boys last week after the game that I was frustrated I missed out on him last season. Jim Goodwin had said, yeah, you could have him because he was in the same boat, he needed experience. And then when St Mirren got their COVID, there was a St Mirren Celtic game because of the COVID outburst that he ended up playing. And then he did unbelievably well, but I knew he had that in him. And then the game after, I think it was the game after that, the Dundee United game, not long after that, he scored an unbelievable goal. And I thought, oh no, there's no chance of getting him. And then the inevitable phone call for Jim Goodwin came and said, Billy, I've got to keep him. So that's up to, that was down to Jay. Jay was excellent, really showed what he's capable of. And then he's come here and I've kept an eye on him ever since. And then when he wasn't playing, because St Mirren are now 3-5-2 under Stevie Robinson, who has been brilliant, I've got to say. Very helpful that we managed to get him. So I'm delighted. I was really surprised and really happy when I got him because I knew what he could do. And then he just showed that in that game Saturday. But he's a young lad. Don't want to be too much on him. But I think he could be a special player.
You talked about bringing in some talent in this window. The boys you brought in last year at this time did make a difference. I remember some of the boys came in and really helped you push on and cement that top four place. You just need to keep following up with these back-to-back victories and you'll be right back in the mix again because nobody seems to want to win the championship this year.
Yeah, well, I tell you, everybody wants to win it. Let's be honest about it. But what I would say to that is we want to put a run together. I had nearly my full quota last year, and I would love to get back to having that option, having my full quota squad, or nearly my full quota squad, because everybody gets injuries to choose from. But the boys who put on that performance realise they've got to dig in just now till the other ones come back. And then I'll be a much happier person, especially if we're hanging in there and winning games and putting that run together you're talking about, Chris.
You and Arbroath in the same boat. They'd been a bit of a tricky run, but then pulled out an unbelievable result at the weekend. So their tails will be right up again. Watched
their game yesterday on my day off, as you do, and I thought they were excellent. Few new signings in, freshness about them, and a win. So they'll be the exact same frame of mind as us going into this game. So it's a real toughie anyway going there, but when both teams have won and put together a really good performance, hopefully it's going to make things a cracker where we can come out on top.
Fantastic. Very best of luck. Billy, cheers.
Billy, Monday I was impressed with some of the crossing from Jay Henderson, but a lot of set pieces from Welsh were superb. Is that something that's impressed you? Has that been maybe worked on in the last couple of weeks?
It's been worked on all season. We've just not had enough end result for it, Stevie. It was great deliveries when I watched that back as well, and I was like pinpointing in. But the biggest thing, and it's a thing that might have gone because we've lost confidence, is lack of movement. I thought the movement was brilliant for all the goals. You look at it again, some of the off-the-ball movement. I asked them for that before the game. I said, we can't just play in front of teams, no hurt teams. We've got to have movement, threats in behind, threats to come short, quick movement to go on the ball, quick movement off it to get in behind them. So they gave me all that, but the set-piece movement was great as well. If you watch Danny's movement and Billy's movement for the first two goals was really good. So that's the way we have to play. That's the way we can play, but it comes with confidence. I think there's a lot of confidence went down to how quick we move, how quick we take our chances, just in terms of as a team, but movement to get on the ball. Some people, when they're no winning games, the word hiding gets used a lot, but you don't show for it as much. is what you do when you're winning. And as soon as we got our goals, as I said to the boys after the game, you see how everybody gave me a bit of the ball. And that's just human nature, and that's what happened with our game. But we need to keep that going and take into this Arbroath game. We can't just stop now. That movement stops. It's the same again.
And then top of confidence, Billy gets 3 on Mondays, 12 behind Dennis Wines now for the all-time record goal scorer. So I'm sure you'll be hoping he either gets close to it or surpasses it this season.
He's going to rename his podcast, isn't he?
The Mackay Shuffle.
If Billy gets 13 goals in. Do you know what? I had Billy in, and I just, Billy's got so much to offer at this club in terms of being an all-action, all-round striker, and that's what I asked him to be. My standard setter said that as well, and he took everything on board. And do you know what? I know he can get his goals, and I know he got them, and I'm chuffed to bits for him for that. But I think his work ethic and his movement was incredible, and I just want him to keep doing that because it goes hand in hand. If he does that, then he'll get his goals. And it wasn't just about his goals, but his all-round performance was excellent.
The last Arbroath started, I think the last game, like 80% of the game, the ball was up in the air and it wasn't a classic. Is it something you need to play to the elements? I know Arbroath are used to playing there and they can use it to their favour. Is that something we'll need to combat on Saturday?
Well, the fingers are crossed for the weather gods, isn't it, right away? Because you don't want a wind. I think with the way both teams performed, because Arbroath, to their credit, they're not just like a team that can lump it. They can, you can see them. They can play as well, and the type of player they've brought in, they can play. So they'll be hoping to get the ball down. They'll be hoping for no wind as well, and 2 teams going into it full of confidence. But I'm certainly going into the game and praying on Saturday that we go there and it's a nice, calm day.
Perfect. Good luck Saturday, mate.
Just Stevie.
I think just ask Billy, I think 6 academy graduates were involved at some stage against Cove. That's not many clubs in the Championship can claim that. It's a credit to everyone involved there.
It is, and it's brilliant for the club. But as I've said to you before in these press conferences, that's the way forward for this club. That's their DNA in terms of trying to produce players and young boys. And you see Roddy McGregor, Cammy Harper. I'm missing a few, but even before Ryan Christie and people like that, Shinnie brothers. I mean, there's so many come through the system here, and we hope to keep that going. And these boys get a chance, but they must look at that and look back and think, this is a club that gives players opportunity. So if you keep on improving and these boys get their debut and they gain that experience, they can go on to have great careers. So that must be a striving point and a point in the young boys' minds where they go, tell you what, I'd love a bit of that. So it was great to get them on. They're all good players. That's why they came on. Yeah, the circumstances were able to dictate that. But if they weren't good enough, they wouldn't be coming on the pitch. So they've been really good. They're a breath of fresh air.